Welcome guys to our day 2 in our GPURisers mining bunker. Alright, so it was a pretty long night. It's probably still a little echoey in here. We did get our test bench set up in here. As you can see, it's just on this flimsy table. This is the test bench that you would always see behind me when I was doing those videos in front of the computer. And this is where I do longevity tests, ROI tests, everything like that. This is still the same 3090 that's been mining since the first part, so I am still going to be doing a second part on this card. Now, we wanted to get something in here. As you can see, I have this orange cord plugged into this, which is actually going into our PDU. So this PDU is an APC PDU, 30 amp, 240 volt, and that is plugged into one of our dedicated 240 volt 30 amp outlets right here. And as I said in the first vlog, we have another one right here, and we have another one right here. So we actually have another one of these in the back of the bunker. That's going to be more, for testing and everything like that. We have been wanting to get racks to put here, as I said in the first video, but really right now, all I have are, these rolling racks. As you can see here, I got a couple helium miners I'm going to set up. We also have a couple 3090s here that we will be setting up. And I've been actually holding off on the 3090s to build a rig because I wanted to do it on 240, because on each 3090 rig, I want to be able to have 8 cards on it. And pulling about 300 watts, a little bit less, you want to have, around 2400 watts continuous to be able to power an 8 card 3090 rig. So that's why I've kind of been holding off. I didn't want to do, a video and a rig build on, just 4 of them. So I really did need this 240 volt to be able to do that. But this is running on Wi-Fi, which is nice because we currently are waiting to get a network switch that we will be running from our server rack over to here. So earlier today, I was able to get our server rack installed right here. Now you can see this has multiple layers in it. Here, I'll open it up real quick. We have our gigabit router, we have an alarm system, we have gigabit internet by Comcast. So this is a gigabit Comcast modem and a Wi-Fi router in one. I did disable the Wi-Fi so that I can have it go to my Netgear router, and that way I'm able to control things a little bit better. But right up here, you can also see this is actually a 5G network that if for whatever reason the Comcast internet goes out, the whole thing will switch over to 5G. So with this 5G modem, I did a little bit of testing, and it's about 10 megabits download and about 1 megabit upload. However, when it comes to mining, that would be more than enough for even a whole mining farm here. But that's just last case scenario. It is nice that they did include that with it. So down here is a little bit of paperwork and everything like that, nothing special, but I will probably be transferring over my data drives, my hard drives, hooking it up to the network so that my Chia mining and everything can be done in here. Right now I have I think it's called an Orca 5-bay hard drive enclosure, and I have 5 8 terabyte hard drives in there. And the thing just kind of screeches next to me, next to my computer when I'm working, and it's kind of annoying. So I'm going to see if I might be able to connect that here and then connect it into the back of this router and make it a network drive. And then be able to make the directories point to the network drive from the Chia program and see if that works. But I will do a video on that. I just wanted to show you guys the server rack and the setup that we have going on here. So right here we have about 25 Ethernet cords, actually probably about 20, but they're 25 feet long. They were all returns, to Amazon that I found some seller on eBay that was selling them. So I nabbed them up because eventually from this server rack, there's going to be a line that runs right over here to probably about the middle one. And it's going to connect to a network switch that then goes off to each rig, so every rig will be hardwired. So that is all coming soon. Once I can get some racks, I will start loading up the rigs. I will start doing build videos in here and everything like that. I really am just waiting until these racks are in stock. They seem to be sold out everywhere, and I don't want to pay an obscene price for them. So I'm going to hold off on a little bit, but I might grab one just to get the ball rolling on things in here. So you can see here, I have a surge protector that's connected to a larger APC surge protector on the bottom of this, which then powers everything that you saw in here. Then I do have my Marshall speaker up here, but what I did have to do in this warehouse is you see the cable, the white cable coming down, which connects to the Comcast modem, but I did have to run 2 Ethernet wires all the way up through the ceiling right up there. This is a drop ceiling in a warehouse, so when you pop these things up, it's really just ceiling above that, maybe about 2 to 3 feet. And then from here, I'm able to push those Ethernet cords into the other parts of this warehouse. So it's really easy to run cables, surprisingly, in here. This is my first experience kind of with a commercial place, but I'm really happy with how that all turned out. So I will probably actually run another one up through the ceiling, up and around to that, now that I'm thinking about it, instead of running it on the floor or on the wall, because like I said, it is extremely easy to pop these things out. So yeah, I don't know, I'm gonna figure that out a different day sometime soon though, because like I said, I do want to get these going. But if you guys have any tips or anything like that, please let me know. I will be using a older network switch that I have. It should work just fine with these. I don't see why it wouldn't work. I used that network switch actually in a grow tent that I had in my shed at one point. I had about 5 rigs on there, all running about, I think they were all 580s or 480s, that's what they were, 480 power color blower cards. And I ran 5 rigs of 6 in there, so 30 cards I ran in a grow tent, and the network switch worked just fine for that, but I ran a cable from my house to my shed, which then connected to the switch in there to all the rigs. So I'm hoping that that all works just fine in here. And as I said in the other video, each of these are dedicated 30 amp, 240 volt. This is not just one shared line here. There is actually 3 lines coming down, and each one has its very own breaker. So I decided to go with these PDUs. There's some other ones that are a little bit cheaper. Actually, not really, because I bought 4 of these PDUs, all used, and I picked them up for about $200 shipped to my door each. And I think that that's a really good deal for these. There's actually 2 banks on this. Each one has its very own 20 amp breaker on it. And one thing I really do like about these is right here. If you can see right here, let me try to turn on the, right there. Let me zoom in a little bit. Right there you can see the current amp draw, you can see the current kilowatt draw and everything like that. So you're able to see how many watts are being pulled on each bank. And since these are 2 20 amp breakers, this is really only a 30 amp PDU. So you have the ability to kind of load up one bank if you want compared to the other one, which is really nice. I see a lot that are 15 and 15. But the ones that are 15 and 15, it can be kind of annoying because you don't want to really go past 12 amps. Whereas with one like this, where you have a 20 and 20 on a 30 amp PDU, you can kind of have a little more wiggle room on one side. Just say if you have a rig that's all 3090s on this side, you can maybe do 16 amps on one side and then just go over to 8 amps on the other, which then would bring you to 24 amps, which is where you don't want to go past that on a 30 amp breaker. So that's ultimately why I chose these. They are extremely long. I don't know if you can kind of tell from here. I'm sure you can. But these, what I will be doing is the racks that I'm going to be putting here are not like, the rolling rack right there. The racks that are going to be going here are the industrial, steel metal ones. I'm going to be zip tying to one of the bars that are in the front of them. So from that point, I'm going to be able to, just plug and play really everything from that center unit on each rack. My goal is to be able to load up one rack with one PDU, one rack with one PDU, and another rack with, again, another PDU, and kind of have it like that. Again, I don't know, might come into some issues with that. We'll see how that goes when the time comes. But I just wanted to give you guys an update. Again, this is the second day that we're here. I did get all of the server stuff done. That is all good to go. I think the next step here will be to add a rack right here and get our first rig going on it. I currently have a rig in my shed. It's the 8 cards 3060 Ti LHR that I did the video on, and it's starting to get a little bit warm. It's actually been nice weather out here in South Florida recently, but I do want to get it out of there. So that will be the first rig that's going in here, and then I hope to start my 3090 build very soon. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Again, I'm going to be doing a daily vlog like this on building this whole thing out and seeing where it goes and and everything like that. And also in the studio part of this warehouse, we will be doing, you know, normal videos, more professional videos, I guess you could say, rather than a talking hand. And I will be doing updates with me in front of my computer and everything like that. But real quick, we are using our GPURisers.com branded 120 millimeter fans. We are really happy with how these things came out. They do have LEDs on both ends. It's a white fan. It is all white out, just like many of the products that we do sell. They run at 1500 RPM, 38 CFM. And the favorite thing about this and why it took kind of a long time to get these things made is, one, we wanted to make sure the quality was great. They do have, you know, the anti-vibration pads on them that you do see on a lot of the higher end, you know, Corsair and Noctua and stuff like that. But the biggest thing for us for these was for sure how they're powered. And we made sure that we had a Molex connection on these. And that's because so many of these new fans that are coming out all connect to a central hub, which then the hub connects to usually a SATA cable from your computer, which in theory works great if you have, you know, a regular gaming computer or just a regular PC where you have 3, 4, maybe 5 fans that you can all just connect to one thing, have a little RGB remote. But on mining rigs, I'm sure you guys have come into the problem where, you know, different frames have different amounts of fans that you need, and then you have to find, you know, a pack that fits that, and then not every pack fits it, so then you have 2 hubs and 2 controllers, and it's just a nightmare. So that's why we did this with Molex. It is a male and female Molex connection that you could connect, you know, 8 fans, 10 fans. They pull about 4 watts each, so they'll all be safely powered for whatever rig size frame that you have, and you can connect them all together, which is nice. But enough of that. This is just the first video where I'm kind of showing these, so I did want to show them off a little bit. They do look great. So that's going to be enough for this second day video. I just wanted to give you guys an update on what we did inside of the bunker. I may just use a rolling rack, sadly, just in the beginning until I can find something more solid, but I'm gonna go out again tomorrow and see what I can get, and then we can get started on that 3090 build. And also, I think I am actually going to be putting the studio on this side. It just made more sense having, you know, one of the racks right here that will, you know, house, you know, about 5 to 6 rigs, and I kind of want that in the background of all the videos. So I think we are going to end up doing it here. I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like before we actually, you know, build it out and everything like that. But again, that's going to be everything for our second day in the bunker. I hope everyone that's watching this has a great rest of their day, and we'll see you guys next time.